Hi guys, and welcome back to, the first video in solving linear equations and working with linear equations. So in today's video we're going to learn about solving linear equations using the flowchart method. So there's two methods we're going to learn about. One is the flowcharts and the second one is just using the balancing method. So let's begin. So the first thing we're going to do is solve 2x minus 5 plus 3. Okay, so we're trying to find out what the variable equals. So what does x equal? And the way that we do this using flowcharts is we start by putting our pronumeral in one of the boxes, and then we follow our BIDMAS. So the first thing we would do in this equation here, or this expression here, is we would multiply it by 2 because we do division or multiplication first. Okay, so we multiply it by 2, which gives us times 2, which gives us 2x. The second thing we would do would be subtract 5. So we go subtract 5, which gives us 2x minus 5. Now, in this bottom box is what it equals. So we go equals 3. So then we're going to go add 5, because we're going to do the opposite now, the inverse. So if we add 5 to 3, we get 8. And then opposite again is divide by 2. So if we divide 8 by 2, we get 4. So x in this case equals 4. So now we're going to check that. So we're going to substitute 4 back into 2x minus 5 and see what we get. So we go 2 times 4 minus 5. 2 times 4 is 8, minus 5 is 3. And so we can see here that that's our answer. So once we substitute it back into this side, we should end up with the answer that is on the right-hand side. So I want you to pause it and give this one a go, looking that we have negatives. Okay, so the first thing we started with is x again, so our pronumeral. And in this case, the first thing we do is we're multiplying it by 5, which gives us 5x. Then we're adding our 3, which gives us 5x plus 3. Now 5x plus 3 is equal to negative 12. So the inverse of positive 3, or adding 3, is to subtract 3. And negative 12 take away 3 more is negative 15. And then we've got times by 5 here, which means we're going to divide by 5, which gives us negative 3. So x equals negative 3. So let's check it. So 5 times negative 3 plus 3. So 5 times negative 3 is negative 15 plus 3, which gives us negative 12. And we can see again that that's what we have on our right-hand side. So again, actually I'll show you this one. It's a bit more complicated. So the first thing we're going to do in this case is work within our brackets. So we go x minus 3 is our first case, because remember we're following BIDMAS, which means we're doing everything in the brackets first. So x minus 3 gives us x minus 3. And then we're going to multiply that by 5, which means we've got 5 times x minus 3. And that is equal to 45. Now we do the inverse of multiplying by 5, which is dividing by 5, which gives us 9. And then we subtracted 3 here. So we're going to add 3, which gives us 12. So x equals 12 in this case. So pause it. I want you to substitute it in and check it to see if we got it correct. Okay, so if we substitute it, we get 5 times 12 minus 3. And 12 minus 3 is 9, so we get 5 times 9. And 5 times 9 is 45, so we got that correct. Here we have another one. Now, following BIDMAS, we have our brackets, indices, division or multiplication. But we need to solve division, the upper part of our division first before we can divide, which means when we're solving it using flowcharts, we're going to start with our upper section and formulate that first. So we're starting with our x, and the first thing we would do to our x is multiply it by 9 to solve it. So we get 9x. Then we would add 11, which is 9x plus 11. Then we would divide it by 2, which gives us 9x plus 11 divided by 2. And that all equals 10. So now I want you to do the inverse, so pause it. I want you to write the inverse operations below the arrows and then complete it to find out what you get for x. So hopefully you went multiplied by 2, which gives us 20. Then you subtracted 11, which gives you 9, and then you divided by 9, which would give you 1. So in this case, x equals 1. So pause it. I want you to substitute it in and check it. So if we substitute 1 in, we get 9 times 1 plus 11, all of that divided by 2. 9 times 1 is 9 plus 11 divided by 2, which gives us 20 divided by 2, and 20 divided by 2 gives us 10, and we can see that that's what we ended up with in the end. So hopefully you've understood the flowchart method. In the next video you're going to learn about balancing, but we're going to start with just this today. So if you have any questions, please make sure you ask, otherwise we will see you in the next video. Thanks guys!